Hello and welcome to the Sacred Priestess podcast, where I help awakening women activate their sacred feminine power so that they can find clarity, connection, and confidence in their spiritual healing journey. I'm Hayley. Thank you so much for being here today. Wherever you are, whatever you are up to, it's wonderful to have you here in this beautiful space with me, this divine feminine space, where today we're talking about why slowing down feels so uncomfortable for us when we are healing, when we're on our awakening journey. And I entered a bit of a time of stillness. It's going on, I reckon, 5 weeks now. And I love the point of stillness. I love that time when we have sort of gone through a little bit of healing, a little bit of release, and there's kind of that void of sacred space where we are really held in that sacred womb energy. And, I love it. And I love being in that space for a couple of days, but I feel like this has honestly been 5 weeks of stillness. And so just before we move on, for those of you who may not be aware, this point of stillness after healing, after shedding, whether that be we've released some past life karma drama, we've released a relationship maybe, or we've been doing some ancestral healing work. Once we've done that and shed those beliefs, we move into a point of stillness, this void, and this is known as the underworld. And in the teachings of the Rose, where we follow that path of Venus, this is that phase where she's behind the sun, where she's in that darkness, where we're able to just sit and be held by the cosmic womb, be held by divine feminine energy. And so, like I said, usually I'm in this space for a couple of days and I love it, but I feel like I've been at this point of stillness where I'm not being called to take action or move forward or gain momentum for a really long time. And it's really starting to feel a bit uncomfortable. I'm starting to kind of really second guess myself and going, oh my God, am I supposed to be doing something? Like, where are my guides? Where are my angels? Like, goddesses, what's going on here? And they go quite quiet in this space. And yeah, so I'm starting to get a little bit funny, a little bit uncomfortable because I feel like I should be doing something. And like I said, yes, I'm second guessing myself. I'm questioning, am I doing the right thing? Is there something I've missed? Is there something else I'm supposed to be healing? Like, what's going on? And yeah, it's sort of that thing of starting to feel like I should actually be really pushing forward. And I started doing that a little bit last week, like going, okay, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And that gets worse then, because rather than it being a flow of what you're being guided and intuitively led to do, it sort of goes back into that masculine, like trying to push and force against something that's not meant to be. And so yeah, it's been a really weird week of just sitting in that discomfort of going, am I doing the right thing here? And trying to push forward and then going, no, we're still sort of in this quiet phase of just being really held in the divine feminine, being held in surrender, in flow, in what we'll talk integration, which we'll talk about in a minute. So, you might be in this space too. Maybe this is something that's just happening collectively within the divine feminine. Last week or the week before, I did the reading for May, and that was a lot of self-love and just allowing yourself rest, allowing yourself to really honor your emotions, honor what's going on for you. And so, maybe that's it might be something that you're feeling too, that you're kind of in this real quiet space and it's like, hang on a minute, why aren't I moving anywhere? Or maybe you've just been here in this space before and you know what I'm talking about, and this will give you a little bit of validation or and more of an understanding of why you're in this energy and yeah, as you were going through what you were going through. So just before I move on to these few points, if you are not familiar with the path of the rose and the pattern of Venus, I was about to say trajectory, that's not the right word, the phases of Venus and her journey throughout the sky and how that relates to the divine feminine and to our journey. I did do a podcast at the start of the year. It could actually be podcast 1 or 2 maybe. So yeah, go back and have a listen to that, and yeah, that will you'll get all caught up on what that is and what that means. So what is exactly the sacred void? So this is a season, like I said, that's really not meant for action. It's really sort of like a point of stillness, like I said, the underworld phase of the journey of Venus, the path of Venus, this journey that we take after shedding. It's sort of like a real in-between. It's about alchemy. So it gives us a chance to really make sure that we have alchemized emotion, that we have alchemized the energy, um, that we've really let go of those beliefs. And it allows our energy and the cells within our physical body to integrate the upgrades of what it is that you've done, the work that you've done. So once you've shared, like I said, whether emotions, beliefs, all of that stuff's filtered out, the light that's coming in to refill those spaces, the changes that are happening within your energy, within your body, need that time to integrate. So they need that time it needs time to, change the cells, change the matrix within your energy, change the fields. So, we do need that stillness. So it gives us a chance to sort of reevaluate as we come into this. It gives us that point of stillness to start going, okay, well, my perspective's changed now. How has my perspective changed? And as I begin soon to come out of this underworld phase into the next phase, how is this perspective changing what I'm doing moving forward? How does it change how I see relationships? How does it change how I see, I suppose whatever it is that you've sort of healed and shared and whatever's coming up will, be in a different area, whether it's around relationships or work or self-love. So how is this perspective now changing what I'm going to be doing moving forward, and what does that look like? So it gives us this really great space to integrate and reevaluate. And it is a real unseen transformation. It's stuff that's all happening beneath the surface. And think of it as like the winter season. So it's that time of sort of like hibernation and contemplation. And like I said, just reevaluating, pivoting on things that are moving forward. So the problem with this space and us in this space sometimes is that we've really been conditioned, a lot of us, to just push through, to stay busy, to, that if we're sitting still for too long that we're being lazy and, we can't have that. We've got to be, I've healed that and I've done that, or this is what's happening in my life. And so now I'm going to move forward. And we do find it really uncomfortable to sit in stillness and nothingness and just really allow the time, or allow surrender within it. And surrender's like one of the hugest parts of the divine feminine, just sitting in that surrender and that faith and the flow, the trust when integrations are occurring, and knowing when your body is ready, when your nervous system is ready to actually start moving forward in a different way. Because we have to be careful, because if we don't really truly integrate properly and we start moving forward, that's when our habits don't change. When we half-ass integration, excuse my French, that's when we come out the other side really finding it difficult to commit to actual 3D change, physical change, because I've talked about this before too. One of the biggest things within the spiritual community, when people are like, it's still not changing, still nothing's changing, we can let go of the emotions. We can go, yep, I've done that past life regression. Yep, I've, healed this ancestral thing. But if we're not integrating that properly and taking forward taking it forward by changing the habits, by taking this time to change perspective and to use that perspective differently moving forward, then that's when people go, oh, I've done this before. I've done this already. Nothing's happening. And I think this integration stage is such an integral part of that. And yes, there are different levels and layers. And so there are going to be things that do come up over and over again, or quite a few times before it fully moves out of the system, because of how deep it runs and all that kind of thing. But we do really have to make sure that we're taking this time and not pushing through it, and have that surrender, that flow, that trust, that faith, that we are going to come out the other side in the right timing. Like, you really truly do never know why it's happening. And it's only become apparent this weekend for me. I'm not going to go into details, but it's become very apparent to me this weekend why it is that this point of stillness and why I'm not moving forward where I think I should be yet. With, different things that are going on in my life. And so, we need to remember that too, is that we don't know what's around the corner. We don't know what's coming up. We don't know how it all intricately fits and weaves together. So, yeah, we are conditioned to push through and to really feel like we're being lazy and like we have to be doing something, like especially also when sitting in uncomfortable feelings and uncomfortable emotions, and sometimes sitting for too long is, it does, like I said, last week I was just going, I can't like be sitting here really doing nothing now. Like this is just not working for me. Like this has taken too long. Like what if this doesn't happen? And I really need to get this started because I wanted this done by the end of June, and, all of these things. And so we have that timeline in our minds as well of like where we should be and what we should be doing and all of these kind of things. So yeah, we just have to be really careful of that conditioning of pushing and allow ourselves to just really embrace that divine feminine energy. So we really need to sit with these uncomfortable feelings and these uncomfortable moments and allow ourselves to just be. And, in the Sacred Priestess Mystery School, Aphrodite brings through this for us. Aphrodite is our connection to the Rose of Venus in terms of us personally and the physical. We also have the Seven Sisters, the Pleiades, who bring through the rose geometry cosmically, but Aphrodite brings it through for us personally. And, she really does teach us that it's okay to just be and to sit and be still and be in this void, to remind ourselves that this stillness is really our friend, and that if we do push forward in these spaces before our energy is ready, before our body's ready, before our nervous system is ready, that things are probably going to go a little bit pear-shaped and really not, turn out for the best or work out the way that you really wanted them to. So if you are in this space of stillness and it is uncomfortable to you, whether for you it's just for a couple of days, or whether for me, or whether for you like me, it's been dragging on for quite a while now, and you're like, hello. When these feelings come up and you're like, okay, I should be doing something, just breathe. And remember where you are. Remember that you're in that point of stillness. Take a moment to connect into the divine feminine, to connect to Aphrodite if you would love to, and bring her forward to help you in this space and to alchemize what you're feeling. And I'm not saying, again, we're not here to push down being uncomfortable. We want to feel that we're uncomfortable, right? We want to notice that. We want to witness that we're feeling really uncomfortable being still. And we don't always have to make a big thing of it. We don't have to, why am I not, doing this? And why am I feeling so uncomfortable being still? Why can't I just we don't have to go into all of that. We can just breathe, call forward the energy of Venus, call forward Aphrodite, call forward, the divine feminine, and know that in this void space, you are being held in that cosmic womb. You are being held in that space where you are so nurtured as you do integrate the beautiful work that you've done. And so, like I said, just take a beautiful deep breath. Notice if you're beginning to push, and just say, okay, how can I, what do I need to reevaluate? What's going on? Not what's going on here, but, where am I reevaluating? Where is my perspective changed with this? And, and breathe into that as well, and just allow yourself the space, allow yourself this point of stillness, and just fall into, the space that, the space where you're loved, and you know that you're loved, and hold yourself in compassion, hold yourself in all of that as you move forward, just knowing that Christ Sophia, that, that beautiful divine mother, is loving you in this space and holding you in this space as you do the work. So what to remember if you're in this void space on this feminine path of surrender. So Surrender's a really tricky thing because I think when we think of surrender, we think of giving up. Forget it, I give up, like I get rid of it, I give it to somebody else and I give up. And that's not really what surrender is about. It's not about giving up. It's just allowing your energy, your body, your soul to lead you where you want to go or where you need to be. Allow that beautiful divine feminine energy to just lead you into where you need to be next, into where your energy needs to be. So it's not really about giving up. It's being in the flow of listening, being in the flow of, and which is hard because I think a lot of people, when they say to me, oh, my guides and angels, I'm usually really good at listening to them, but like lately I haven't heard them. They've been really quiet this week. And a lot of the time they're quiet because this is the space that you're in. You're in a void space. You're in this place of softness and stillness. And so they're just there holding space for you while you integrate. They don't want to be telling you anything or showing you anything because your energy is in a space where it's actually, reconfigurating itself. And so they don't want to be bringing in more information to you. You don't want to be bringing, your higher self doesn't want to be bringing more information to you while you're in this space. So if lately, or if over the last week, or if over a few days you're going, oh my God, my guides are really quiet, I'm asking this and they're not saying anything, is it because you are meant to be in a space of stillness and you are still trying to push forward? What's been going on in the last week that you're supposed to be integrating and bringing into your energy properly? So that's just a side note of something that you might want to consider. So surrender. We want to be doing that. We want to be taking intuitive action. So if you wake up in the morning and you feel called to do something because your intuition is leading you there, your body's leading you there, then do it. If you're doing it because you think you have to, then you need to stop. Or intuitive action only. Allow yourself, like I said, to feel into the emotions that come up, listen to what your body's asking for, and call on the beautiful goddesses, your higher self, to just help you through this integration. So I hope that this has brought you a little validation or more understanding of this space and of the void space, maybe why we can't hear your guides right now. This place of stillness, and it's a really, but it's also like a really beautiful feminine space to be in too, just is because it also actually brings quite a sense of peace and alignment as well. It's sort of like you're okay with being still in a way, right deep down underneath. Like if you really tune into your soul, like you're really at peace with being in this stillness. It's just kind of that human element that feels like you should be, that conditioning element that makes you feel like you should be pushing forward. So yes, if you're feeling that right now, then I'm with you and I'm here. So just embrace that journey of the divine feminine, of the healing, of growing. And like I said, if you'd like to learn more about that path of Venus, do go back to the beginning of this year in the podcast where I talk about that a little bit more. Don't forget to show yourself love and compassion, show your body love and compassion, your higher self love and compassion as you continue to move through your journey. And if you would like to go deeper into this work, I would love to see you for a one-on-one goddess activation where I use my beautiful sacred priestess mystery cards, bringing through Mary Magdalene, Isis, Athena, Aphrodite, Seven Sisters of the Pleiades, Mother Mary. I've forgotten someone, Goddess Sophia. How could I forget her? So we do a reading, and then I also bring these goddesses through, whoever wants to come through, for you to do a clearing and activation within your energy field. I also have a program called the Rose Codes, which is a short 3-video series about the path of the rose and this path of Venus and the healing journey, where you work with Mary Magdalene, Aphrodite, and Goddess Isis in that. And also I will be opening the Sacred Priestess Mystery School Inner Circle in a few months' time. So if you would like to be on the VIP wait list for that, where we do a couple of monthly gatherings where you get access to oracle card readings and oracle card spreads, rituals, full moon, new moon stuff, everything beautiful, goddessy and divine feminine. Pop that. I will pop all those links below, or in the show notes rather. So have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.